Good morning, everyone. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nato. If you want excitement, you've come to the right place. This is going to be quite an afternoon of racing between here and our sister track, Santa Anita. 15 stakes races. It's going to be quite an afternoon. Fast main track, firm turf course this afternoon. Right here in South Florida, Torpedia is not into play this afternoon.
No, it's just an absolutely loaded card. All the stakes races, graded stakes races, long on the turf, short on the dirt, and of course the grade 2 Fountain of Youth as we move down the path to the Florida Derby. Can't wait. It's an exciting race, deep and competitive field, big pools, pick fives, cross-country pick fives with Santa Anita. There's so much to look forward to.
And there's points available for the Triple Crown season, so 50 points in the Fountain of Youth. I think it's 50,
Yep,
20,
50, 20, 10.
50, 20, 10. So very important race this afternoon. It's that stepping stones to get to the Triple Crown this year, the first Saturday, of course, in May. We've got a $400,000 jackpot guarantee, gross jackpot guarantee pool in the Rainbow Six, which starts in race 8 this afternoon with this 13 race card. So make sure you mark that down. And of course, we'll talk about it a little later, Beat the Expert this afternoon, and I'm on, and you can play that. We'll show that a little later on, but make sure you get to GulfstreamPark.com and start getting your picks in so you can get it done. With all that said, the first race, 7 furlongs, allowance optional claim is state bred 4 and up. The optional claiming price, $12,500. What a way to start the day. A complete field of 12 in here. And how did your early pick 5 ticket play?
Scratch down. I spent a little bit today. It's $63, and we'll talk about the opener. Deep spreads in race 2, in race 4. They look like loaded maiden special weights with just huge connections in there. I'm just going to throw a blanket on them. This double singles, Never Surprise, is going to be a very, very short price. And then obviously in the get out leg, we'll talk about it. I'm going to single Virginia Joy off the long layoff for Chad Brown and Peter Brandt. IRAD's here. I like the class. $63, Ronnie. I need prices in race 2 and in race 4.
Yeah, lots of coverage in those pretty wide open races. With that said, this first race, 7 furlongs, allowance optional claimer. These are state bred 4 and up. Optional claiming price, $12,500. And as I mentioned, a full field of 12. I went with the 6 horse. I see that you did too. And that's Justice Stride, who shows a couple of sizzling workouts in preparation for the first start since the impressive maiden victory. Here's the catch. It was last July. Saul Manos, look at this, 1 for 2 with this type of layup. He hasn't done it a lot. He's 3 for 8 winning consecutive races. The barn has been doing very well at, against some heavy heads here at the championship meet.
Yeah, and it's very, very early in the betting, 58 minutes to post. This horse, I thought this horse would be 9 to 5, 8 to 5 maybe. If this horse is 9 to 2, I'd be very, very leery. He's supposed to be bet, and he's supposed to be bet hard. That win was against Open Company, too, that he blasted. As you mentioned, Ronnie, the workouts are huge. He runs an 82. He ran a 5 on the thoroughgraphs. I like this horse a lot, provided he's ready.
The number 12, who is currently the 5 to 2 favorite, You're Killing Me, moves to the Mike Maker barn after the claim, breaks from the outside. Drew clear to defeat the same level of competition. That was going a 1-turn mile. Tyler Gaffalione handles the turn back to 7/8 of a mile. You got to carve out that trip from the outside.
You got to carve out that trip. You also got to improve off Larry Ravelli, and that's easier said than done. And Mike does a good job off the claim. Larry Ravelli is just a really prolific, high percentage trainer. I don't know if You're Killing Me can move forward. If he runs his last race, he's certainly going to be there. But if Justice Stride is ready, I don't know if You're Killing Me's got a race to beat him.
The number 4, Twice Too Many, stretching out an additional furlong at the closing to finish third against this same level, going 3/4 of a mile. Rohan Crichton, Louis Sayers, another multiple win day. Yesterday, I think he had 4 wins on the card. He is our leading rider. He will be here, and he will be closing strongly, I think.
Yeah, and I thought this horse ran very, very well last time with a very wide trip, and he flattened out a little bit late because of it. But, yeah, you're right. He's going to be running on, Ronnie.
Race 2 this afternoon, really nice race in here. Let me flip the page. You got lots of pages in here today with the 13 race card. I'll get it in 1 second. Just hold on. Here it is. 7 furlongs, maiden special weight, filly 3-year-olds. Did have a couple of scratches today. Scratched the 1, scratched the 13, 14, and number 15. And I'm going to go with the number 6. I'll start there with Veterans Highway, stretching out to 7 furlongs. I thought of promising 6 furlong debut in which he finished second in front of a pair of next out winners. So you knew I was going going there. But look at his stat with Rusty Arnold. He's 26% with maidens making their second start. And who's aboard? Luis Saez. So I'm going to go that way with the number 6 horse here, Veterans Highway.
And Rusty's a guy that never wins on debut. So the fact that Veterans Highway ran so well is a testament of her talent and her ability. And it's always a big edge if you have a start against a field full of first-time starters.
Yeah, you know, so you went with the number 4 horse in here. I had a little further down on my ticket, and that is Tiffany's Mo.
Yeah, it's a Dale Roman's firster, so she might need a race, but a daughter of Uncle Mo, they paid $500 for, and the Albaugh family just does nothing but buy runners, and so that's really kind of what led me there. Joel Rosario, who is here riding, was here the other day aboard Kamari. He gets aboard, so maybe the works are pretty solid here too. And like I said, I just come back to the Albaugh family and the horses they've bought the last 8-10 years. They're always live. They're always good. That's what landed me on Tiffany's Mo.
The 12 Bleenies at Daughter Tap and a full stakes winners anchored down in the Iron Fist, debuting for Bill Mott. Lasix, Steady Work Tab showing up at Payson Park. Go-to rider Junior Alvarado in the saddle today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Bill Mott's got, he could have a big say in both of these 2-year-old races. Anchored Down was very good right here at Gulfstream Park, too. I don't mind this wide outside draw, Ronnie, with a horse that probably has some speed, too.
Yeah, so we'll see how that plays out. The one horse was scratched in there, as I mentioned. So we'll go to race number 3 today, and this is our first of 9 stakes races here this afternoon. 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf, 4-year-olds and up. It is the $150,000 Canadian Turf Grade 3. And if you remember Brian's ticket, here's the horse that he singled, and rightly so, never surprised. We're going to go back. First, what I want to show you, this horse breaks from the outside, number post 12. And I just wanted to show you how this horse had to get position early on and had to be used. I just thought it was something that you should see. It was just a thing of beauty getting over from the outside post. So a lot of times when horses do this, it takes a lot out of them, So he gets over there, and you're going to just see, gets that positioning. And then he just, I'm going to pick it up in the stretch run where he duels with his stablemate, Colonel Liam, who's the champion of champions. And this horse ran a monster race last time out.
You couldn't agree with you more. It was his first stake start against older horses, and the older horse he caught is probably the best turf horse in the country. And here he is gutting it out with him all the way to the line. His speed is going to play here. There ain't no one in here like Colonel Liam, Ronnie.
Yeah, and it's just, with the way this horse had to get position, used early, and was able to hang on, as you mentioned, one of the greatest horses we've seen, certainly here, maybe in the world. So that is the way we went. We both have the number 7 Moulange in second. It's the French bred making his North American debut for Chad Brown. Consistent 2021 campaign in France, in which he amassed a record of 6 starts, 2 wins, 3 seconds, and a third. So the horse was good over there, and the barn is 37% with their Euro shippers, North American shippers, and Iran Ortiz Jr. outside draw.
Yeah, could have put this stat up for Chad. We've got a trainer stat coming up for Chad in the next race. But yeah, 37%, as Ronnie alluded to. This horse was at the B level over in Europe, so a little bit of a wild card here, but it's Chad. We got the pink and yellow of Mike Dubb as well, Madacat Stables. So there's a lot to like about Moulage. We'll just see how he stacks up with, arguably the second best turf horse in the country.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. And I went with the number 6 and 3rd Clear Vision, who won the Grade 3 Tropical Turf here, 2 starts back, returns, failed to fire. That was in the Grade 3 Tampa Bay last time out. Matt O'Connor, Jose Ortiz atop this. Sort of a little bit of an upset for me in here.
Yeah, son of Artie Schiller gave Matt O'Connor a small stable, his first career graded stakes win. And we talked to him. We shook his hand that day. It was really cool to see. A young trainer, good for the game, and Clear Vision's got some ability.
Let's go to race number 4 this afternoon, and this one is 7 furlongs, maiden special weight, 3 years old on the fast main track. So we'll see how this race plays out. Brian, we'll start with your horse on top, and that is the number 2, and that is Town Bandit.
Yeah, and we've got a trainer stat for Bill Mott here, too, for a son of street sense out of a Bernardini mare. There's a slew of works on display here. Bill, 4 for 22, 18%, a giant ROI. 3-year-old maiden special weight debut sprinting at Gulfstream in the past 5 years. Not a huge sample, but I think Bill kind of, the people have the mindset he's not a guy that wins on debut, and he's, you look down, he's a very solid 12%. If the horses are right, they're going to win. I love these works here, juniors here. There's a slew of works up at Payson. It's a Godolphin homebred. Probably needs to work out a trip down here, but, this is the old call in a real scramble, Ronnie. It's a tough field.
Yeah, it's a tough field. And early on, they just, 14 and 15 to scratch, so we'll see. I'm sure the rest of the All-Stars will come out in a little while. If they're not out already, and of course, when we're done, Pete Aiello will jump aboard and give you all the stuff you needed to know. You're right about Belmont, absolutely 100%. I can't tell you how much money I made a couple of times at Saratoga when everybody's walking. You can't bet him first time out. And I'm going, what are you, nuts? So number 11, Felix. This one is going to be, I'm going with the 11, by the way. Treated with Lasix in the first start since finishing second to grade 3 stakes place. Dean's List, who you're going to see a little later on in the Fountain of Youth, so I'm keen off that performance. That was its 6th furlong debut. What a meet Ralph Nix is having. He's 23% with maidens making their second start. Leading rider Louis Saez in the saddle. So, a lot of people pick Dean's List as their long shot in the Fountain of Youth, and I figure Felix can run with him. Maybe I'll use him here.
Yeah, I agree. And Felix is not in my top 4, but he's firmly in my early pick 5. As you mentioned, the Lasix, a strong debut, and I love this post now, too. We're going to be pressing from the outside. So Felix, I think, is buddies with Al Halal, too.
No, yeah, definitely. They're very, very tight. Positive review, which we probably won't get after the show, is wheeling back after responding to both Lasix and Blinkers with an improved third-place finish at the 7 furlong distance. You just look down. Saffie Joseph Jr., what a rider this Edwin Gonzalez is turning out to be. So I think there's a logical player in there.
Seems to be moving forward for Saffie. Now he's got a big experience edge on a lot of these, too.
Well, the number 8 horse in here, Hidden Plan, is a half-brother to a hard-knocking horse called Cordmaker. If you follow any kind of racing in Maryland, you'll know about Cordmaker. He won every race up there. There's so many. Debuts for Todd Pletcher. Pletcher, we know, he's 19% with his first-time starter. Son of Street Sense gets Lasix. Jose Ortiz.
This is actually a Maryland bred, too, so how about that?
Yeah.
There's a lot to like here.
Yeah.
It's Todd with first. There's a slew of works here up at Palm Beach Downs, and Todd and Jose 25% together overall. So big connections, Mike Rapoli, Vinny Viola, St. Elias Stable. So, all systems go. This is a race, 2 things. Remember the also-rans, because it has a key race in the making. Tab the tote board, too. You don't want to see some of these Pletcher, Mott, Firsters kind of dead on the board. It would not be a good sign.
Let's go to race number 5, a mile 3/8 on the turf. These are fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. It's the $150,000, the very one, the grade 3 event. And I'm going to start it off in here with the number 2, Harajuku, who's the Irish bred. I think I said that right, but we'll find out from Pete a little later on. I got to show you this horse's performance. I'm going to pick it up at the top of the stretch to the wire when she's beaten a nose by, if you don't know who Always Shopping is, this is one tough mare. So this is a great race. You're going to see this coming down. Of course, the number 7 is the horse I'm talking about. And it looks like this is the win. The 7 looks like they're going to win. Going up there and going to get the lead here. But look how game Always Shopping is, a multiple stakes winner, comes back and just beats this horse on the wire.
Well, the other thing, too, is, Always Shopping, is a horse that is involved throughout, and a horse like Harajuku is up against it with her running style, and she still almost ran her down. It was a huge effort. It was a breakthrough effort. So, I agree. I've got her in second here.
What about the 5, Virginia Joy?
Well, she's the best horse in the race. Let's take a look at a stat here for Chad Brown, because she hasn't run since July, and normally you'd think, ooh, that's a little bit of a problem, but Chad is 14 for 53, 26% with a $194 ROI in a 180-plus day layoff in turf routes. So, I always think these horses for Chad might run their best race off these long layoffs, and I'm not sure Virginia Joy even needs to run her best race. She's got class to her. I mean, she was close to Mean Mary in the grade 2 New York last year. Now she's back at 5. She's still got a world of upside with just 9 career starts. She's tactical, so we don't have to worry about, there's no pace in the race and, she runs out of room. No, there's plenty of tactical speed here. I think, she's too much for these.
Let's go to race number 6, 1 mile fillies, 3-year-olds. This is the 200,000. It's the grade 2 Devona Dal. And number 3, you have on top here is the number 5. Well,
yep.
You like this horse, Sweet Danny Girl. You told me earlier. I did go with 3, Dream with a Girl with a Dream, was stretching out to the 1-turn mile. Shipped in for Brad Cox and used her speed to win the 7 furlong grade 3 forward girl here. The barn is 32% with sprint to root angle. Louis Saez handling that additional furlong.
I had her initially picked on top, and then Me Negrita scratched out the other day to run in here. And Me Negrita's a huge long shot, but she is fast. So now Girl with a Dream's not going to get loose, but I still have her in second because she was really good here last month.
She was really, really good. Tell us about the 5 in here.
Well, you know, the 5 should theoretically sit the trip in here with Girl with a Dream getting pressed, maybe dueled by Me Negrita, and she had good Kentucky form for Carlo Vaccariza, and, you know, she's running big numbers. She's running 6s on the thoroughgraphs. She's going to fall into the right kind of trip here under Jose, and she might get forgotten a little bit, too.
You know, the number 1 horse you have in 4th, I have in 3rd. Kathleen O was hoping to get the same fast pace that afforded her the Comfort-Heim victory in the 1-mile cash run. I want to go back and just show you the start here of this horse's race. First, we'll pick up the start as the number 2, and you can see hesitates a little bit, but hesitating now gets just slammed back and has no chance. Now we're going to pick it up, and we're going to see as they go and turn for home in here, they just look at the fractions in the race. You know, 22.74, 44.94. They are motoring. So she gets the perfect table setter here, and just loved this move that she went. She said, hello, goodbye, and was gone.
Yeah, my notes say there was a pace meltdown, but she was absolutely awesome. I don't care about the pace meltdown. This was stunning. You're right. She needs some hitting up front. The mile, she's already proven it. That's what I like here. Some of these gals, we don't know if they're going to be able to get the mile. There's no issues of that at all with Kathleen O.
Let's go to race number 7 after that beautiful performance by that horse. It's 1 mile on the turf, 3-year-olds, $125,000. It's the Palm Beach Majors. The biggest scratch on the card today is, besides Modonigal the other day, we knew about that one, is this horse right in here, and that is Royal Spirit that came out of the race, and that was part of the speed in here. So I'm interested to see how you go with it now.
Well, I'm glad we don't have to show the replay of Royal Spirit either, who broke my heart last time without winning. I went down inside either way with Royal Spirit out. I still had credibility on top. And, you know, his form is a little dirtied up because he didn't run on the turf in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile from a terrible post. Then he won on the Tapeta last time. I think the true race is the 3 back in the Bourbon when he was a really, really good third to Tiz the Bomb, who's, you know, you could make a case he's our best 3-year-old turf horse. And he ran so well in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile turf. He's going to be inside. He's going to be close. That man, Edwin Gonzalez, 30%. Is this a trainer stat? Let's take a look at this trainer stat. Mark and Edwin teaming up here. And we've talked about it, you know, almost ad nauseum. But here it is right in front of you. 30%, 350 ROI at Gulfstream and routes the past year.
Yeah, so just incredible. He's been doing great. So good performance there by that horse. And that's my, you know, you go in there. I did bump up Coinage. I did have Royal Spirit on top. Coinage is cutting back to the mile. Returned from the layup. Went up and set the pace last time out before yielding to finish third in the Kitten's Joy. Mark Cassie, Louis Sayers in the saddle. I think with the scratch of the 6 helps this horse out this afternoon.
Yeah, I agree. And don't forget, too, this is the first race in the Gulfstream Santa Anita $1 pick 5 all turf stakes. 12% takeout. I've got the video we filmed yesterday on Twitter. Ashley's got a dirt video. So get involved. I think the pool is going to be very, very healthy. Low takeout.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So you got pick 5s on the dirt and on the turf. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, have my Rainbow 6 ticket, and we'll continue.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Ground by first inside. Race. And a quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top. It's last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back, Gulfstream, today, Ron and Brian. And Brian, you don't know what goes on after the camera shuts off here. I'm not going to say anything here. 8th race, scratch the 2 in here. It's a mile allowance. Here's my Rainbow 6 ticket. We'll go through it really quickly. Got lots of coverage. 57.60 to me. And you see in race number 12, of course, there's the Fountain Youth. I did go 4 deep in there. I think I got a shot. So, 57.60 for me. And, of course, tomorrow we'll tell you about that a little later on. Mandatory payout. Brian, I went with the number 7 Stage Raiders, making his 4-year-old debut, the first start since a pair of impressive head-swirling victories last spring, including that 1-mile victory, which I like. It's a one-turn mile. Belmont, you can go like 4 feet. It's the biggest track I've ever seen. And Chad Brown has Jose Ortiz atop the son of Pioneer of the Nile.
I didn't know what to make of him. I'm sure he's ready to roll with Chad off the layoff. His only fast race was a sloppy race. So, he's dangerous. If he comes back bigger, stronger, and faster, he's going to be tough.
And you went with the number 10, Soup and Sandwich.
Soup and Sandwich. I thought he ran big off the layoff last time, Ronnie. He put in a really sharp middle move and then kind of paid the price for it late, but he probably needed the race. Candyman Rocket, who you had that day, was so good for Bill Mott. I think Soup and Sandwich is going this way in a big way today.
And just real quickly, keeping with the food theme, we'll go with Chocolate Bar in second. At least I will. Is stretching out after returning from the layup to finish a 6-wide third, beating a couple lengths, going 6.5 furlongs for Mr. Mike Maka. He readied him for this assignment with that 5-furlong bullet drill in 59-2. That's motoring. So this horse certainly sitting on go, and you got Liam in there, and so we'll see how that race plays out. But a great way to start the Rainbow 6, especially if you have, like Brian is going to have some singles down the road, whatever. If you do, I'm saying, if you got a choice, you go deep in that particular race. Getting to another stakes in here on the turf in a mile, fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. It is the $150,000, and it is the Grade 3, the Honey Fox, and you have a late pick 5 ticket put together.
I do, and the ticket has no opinion in this race at all. We'll talk about it. So here it is. I was pretty deep early in the pick 5. I am not late. Back-to-back singles. Speaker's Corner. I just think he's a Grade 1 winner in the making and is awesome. A Bond, short number 2. But the spread comes in the Fountain Youth. I can't wait to talk about it with you. I have no strong opinion. The pick is Howling Time. He should be a decent price, 6-8 to 1. And then my best bet of the day is actually in the finale, Spenderella. I don't know what kind of price you're going to get, so by singling her, Ronnie, you get built-in value.
Yeah, that's for sure, because I think I used that one on my ticket. Well, I'll have to go back and look. So no scratches in this race, as I mentioned, a mile. I did go with the 7 Alms, who's turning back to the mile after setting the pace, finishing second. That was in the mile in the 16th Grade 3 Pegasus, filly and mare turf last time out. Mike Stidham has Joel Rosario in the saddle. I see Joel. I'm going to take a second look.
Alms ran so well. The winner was in a different zip code, a different class. Alms gutted it out on the lead, actually rebroke, came again to get the place. I mean, if she can move forward off that, she's probably going to throw down a race the rest of these can't handle.
Well, you went with the number 9 horse in here, in Italian, the British bred, so my paisans are going to be mad at me again because they didn't pick an Italian horse.
Ron, this is my long shot in that all-turf sequence, and it's just a weird spot, and Chad does not run horses where they don't belong or where they can't compete. She's stepping way up from this allowance win at Tampa. It was her comeback. I love the fact that she's got speed. You don't see that a lot with Chad's turf horses. I think she's going to really, really improve today. Can she win? I don't know. She's spotting a lot of experience with these horses. I think she's going to run huge.
I'm going with the old horse for course angle with the number 3, Jouster, who's a perfect 2 for 2 on the Gulfstream Park turf. Returns after ending her sophomore campaign with that set the pace and fade performance. That was in the Grade 3 Lake George at Saratoga. Louis Sayers rides a horse that I think just likes this turf course. So I'm expecting this horse to run better today. And I love looking up there. And we don't have many numbers of light, and certainly not in the right position. So it's that type of race. What about, and also, who else you got? There's 6 horses in here that had a little further down, and that's what Gift Last.
So 4 of these are coming out, and they ran well in the Pegasus World Cup Filly Mare Turf. Giftless is one of them. Wakanaka is another one. You like that, how I said that, right? Like I knew what I was talking about. And Bipartisanship. They all ran very, very well. This is a class drop because Regal Glory will be 1 to 9 in here.
Yeah, and Alms was like the boss in
Yep.
those races, so that's so good. And she should get more than enough pace to bipartisanship to run well in here. I think she got that patient running style. We'll see if this one can come off the pace. Going to race number 10 today. It just keeps coming. Here we got the 1 mile 4-year-olds and upward $200,000 the Gulfstream Park Mile Grade 2. Is this where the all dirt pick 5 picks kicks off? Is it this race?
It kicks off a race earlier
Yeah.
at Santa Anita.
Oh, Santa
This
Anita.
is the second race
Oh,
in the
this is
sequence.
the second race
Yep.
in the sequence. Well, you mentioned your single in here is Speaker's Corner. We're going to go back and revisit Speaker's Corner and Fearless in here. And Speaker's Corner was just so incredible in this race. You're going to see this one turn for home, and just look at the fractions this horse is setting. Up there, they're setting 22.13, 44.82. But I know you're singled here, but I thought the Fearless in here ran just as good as race as him. I mean, this particular day, nobody was beating Speaker's Corner.
I mean, someone had to run second, and Fearless passed a bunch of horses that Speaker's Corner just fried. He ran, to me, he ran so much better than Fearless. This was an awesome effort.
Yeah, I interviewed Junior Alvarado afterwards, and he's just said the mile is what this horse needs. They tried that. He goes, the mile fits him perfectly. And, of course, here at Gulfstream, you got the one-turn mile. Aforementioned Fearless should get the perfect setup. We're trying to turn the tables on Speaker's Corner. Close to finish second to him last time out. I think he sees a strong pace again. I don't know if he can beat him, after that performance last time out. So, I was a big fan with this horse going into the last race, and it certainly did not disappoint.
No, and if they throw down again, it'll be exciting because two very, very talented horses. Speaker's Corner is going to win Grade 1 races this year.
And what about the number 9 horse in here, Diamond Oops?
Our old buddy.
Yep.
Diamond Oops loves it here at Gulfstream. I thought he ran very well in a race he clearly needed, and I love the fact that Patrick Biancone's going to bring him back on 2 weeks rest. Says to me he's tearing the barn down.
Yeah, he needed that performance, as you
Yeah.
said, so you'll see a run. I used endorsed. He's turning back to the mile after running into a buzzsaw called Life is Good. That was in the 9 furlong Grade 1 Pegasus World Cup. Life is Good was absolutely mind-boggling in that race, and Mike Maker has Jose Ortiz handling the turn back.
Go back and watch that race. Endorse was like looming.
Yeah.
He ran very, very well. So he just never wins. That's the problem.
Race number 11 this afternoon, 1 mile and 3/8 on the turf, 4-year-olds and up. It's the $200,000 Grade 2 McDermott. And here's my long shot in here. I'll start it off. And this is the number 7 Pantioso, the Argentinian bred. I don't know what this one is on the line, 15 to 20 to 1, 15 to 1. Third behind a bond here in the 2 mile Alan Jerkins. Returns after rallying to finish in the dead heat with a win in the 12 furlong Grade 3 JB Conlia up at Sam Houston. Ignacio Correas, Brian Hernandez Jr. in to ride. I just think this horse has license to run well in this spot at this 1 mile and 3/8. Behind a bond, behind Temple. I am using this horse as my long shot today.
I love it. There's 5 makers and 3 pletchers, and you don't have any of them on your long shot. I like it. This is a tricky race and a tricky distance, and Aban is cutting back as good as he is. Your horse comes in off a big bounce-back effort, got back on the beam, and, he's got prior races that make him a threat, too. You could do worse than taking a big number on this horse.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shot. The horse you have on top of Aban is turning back to the 1 mile 3/8 after notching his second local victory when he drew clear to win the 12 furlong Grade 3 McKnight last time out. You sort of got the feeling that he was that 2 mile specialist because he was out there wing-dinging it alone. But Todd Pletcher, Luis Saez, when he came back and won the next race, then I really said, wow. And I talked to Todd, in the winner's circle after this race, and he was very impressed with the horse's performance.
Yeah, and the thing I like, too, is that he showed a new gear that day. His other races, he's wired because he's been better and nobody went with him. He stalked that day, and I think that's a big deal. Now he's got another dimension.
Well, the big one today, of course, is race number 12, 1 mile and 1/16. First finish line, 3-year-olds, $400,000. The Fountain of Youth. It's, of course, a Grade 2 event. I'll kick it off here with the number 8. Emmanuel is back locally after shipping up to Tampa and proven he could handle 2 turns when he drew clear to win an allowance at 1 mile and 40 yards. And that's the stepping stone that Todd wanted, get this horse some distance into him. He's got Luis Saez atop this $350,000 son of more already. He's lightly raced, so I think that, I just went through and no one really jumped off the page at me, but I did use the number 8 Emmanuel on top of my ticket. As we mentioned earlier, the scratch and O'Donegal. Please note that the number 13 here is going to get in the race, and I believe the 13 is a half to like full to Songbird, right?
Yeah.
So you can take a look at a long shot. How'd you say it?
Well, I like Emmanuel. I mean, I've got him in second, and you're right. I mean, he's basically already run as fast as all these horses, and he's got a world of upside for Todd. You know, he got the 2 turns last time. Yes, he faces stakes foes today. You know, he's also catching some horses possibly at the right time. Horses off layoffs, horses that might need a race, horses that could regress after a huge foul at Holy Bull. So Emmanuel does get a lot of things right. If I want to nitpick just a little bit, and I like him today, his stablemate in the Union was not good at all on Wednesday in that 3-year-old allowance race, and that's who he just blasted at Tampa. But I'm with you, Ronnie. I think he fires a big, big shot in here today.
Well, the quote-unquote wise guy horse is the horse that you have on top, Howling Time. I was looking at the daily racing form. I think every person picked this one. Comes out of a Monster Key race that produced the trio of next out winners, and that's Howling Time.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to get bet pretty hard in here. My line in the sand on him is 5-1.
Right.
I don't want anything less than that.
Right,
That would be too much. He did miss a work. You know, that's documented, but the other works are off the page. That you mentioned with the Jockey Club, it's a super key race, and Smile Happy, who won that race, comes back to run second in the Risen Star with a trip that day, too. He's inside. Don't forget, short finish line here, too. That's a big deal. That helps a horse like Emmanuel, too.
Yeah.
So I think Howling Time is not going to be on the lead like he was in the Jockey Club, but he's going to be close.
The number 2, Simplification, who is the morning line favorite, is hoping for a clean start after following his victory. That was in the 1 mile of Mucho Macho Man with a slow starting. You look at his last race, he had his head tossed. He was second that day in the mile in the 16th, grade 3 Holy Bull. It's the setup for this race. Antonio Sano going to go with Jose Ortiz this afternoon.
Listen, I bet him to win in place last time, and I threw my ticket out after the start. I mean, he had 0 chance because he was supposed to be loose on the lead. The fact he came around and ran second, I said, we said to Antonio, your horse ran absolutely huge. Ooh, today I'm going to fade him a little bit. I just think he's going to get bet hard. He's going to be an underlay, and he just had to run so hard last time. To me, he's going to come back a little bit.
Well, here's the number 6, Rattle and Roll. I keep going back to this horse. A perfect 2 for 2 at the distance. The only grade winner in the field. Let's go back and look at that performance at Keeneland. It's race 9. It was just an incredible. It's the Breeders' Futurity, and it's a grade 1. And this horse, the number 6 horse, is just going to sweep on the outside. This horse, if I would have picked it up earlier, was in the inside, mired behind horses, and all of a sudden, he's gone. He ran real 1. So you're getting somebody that's already a grade 1 winner. You're getting someone who's perfect 2 for 2 at a mile in the 16th, which other horses in this race have not done. So I just think this horse got a big shot this afternoon. I really do.
I agree. The only worry to me is they just melted down that day. The horse he beat, though, Classic Causeway, was awesome in the Sam Davis a couple weeks ago. I don't know if he's a wild card because he's a grade 1 winner. I just don't know what we're going to get today because I'm sure Kenny thinks this is the start of a big campaign, and you have to always think about that in these spots when these good 3-year-olds are coming back off layoffs. How tight are they today?
And what about the number 9 we got in here, and that is
Leon Seidler and Mike Francesa team up here. And listen, this horse was stunning winning in Saratoga. It's Bill Mott off the layoff. Now, he missed some time with a little minor blip. They were going to run earlier in the meet. It's a tough spot to come back. If you want to fight me and tell me he's the most talented horse in the race, I'm not going to disagree with you. It's asking a lot, again, today.
Race 13, if you can believe it, and it's still another stakes race, and it's a 3-year-olds, and we're going to scratch the 3 and the 13. It's 1 mile on the turf, Philly 3-year-olds. It is the $125,000. Here comes the bride, the grade 3 events, and we want to take a moment here to congratulate Acacia and Miguel on their thing. It's the perfect time to do it, and here comes the bride stakes.
Yeah, that's well said. Good segue there.
Yeah,
I like it.
good segue into there. And I went with the number 2 horse in here, and it's Mischievous Kiss. It's turning back to the mile. First starts in closing 5 wide to finish 3rd. Beating a length in the $100,000 Tepin at Aqueduct for Billy Mott. Junior Alvarado atop this stakes-winning daughter of Into Mischief.
Yeah, I've got her in 3rd. She's firmly in my mix. That race 2 back and the Chelsea Flower was big. If she's ready to roll, she's probably the horse to beat.
The number 12, Leah Marina, is stretching out slightly after following her 6-furlong maiden victory with a game score in the 7.5-furlong wait a while for Christophe Clement, of course. And this one is Joel Rosario. If this horse was not in post 12, would be on top of my ticket. Simple as that.
Yeah, the Eclipse Award-winning jockey is going to have his work cut out because this is dreadful. This is a bad spot to be going a mile on the turf.
One other horse we'll talk about. Who else you got in here, the 5?
Best bet of the day, Spenderella,
That's right,
number 4. Yeah. Best bet of the day, I thought her debut for Graham Motion, who's not a guy that wins a lot or cranks the screws too tight on first out. I thought she was really, really good. She ran as fast as anybody in here, and she has got a world of upside. She's my aggressive single to wrap it up about 6:12 in the p.m.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out, but we're not quite done yet. Before we turn it to Peter Ayala, we got our lightning round, and as I mentioned at the top a little bit, today it's Beat the Expert Day, and I am in the hot seat, right?
You are. You beat. Is it beat the legend or beat the expert? Okay, beat the expert. I don't know, Ron. You pick 7-8 winners every Saturday, so good luck out there, folks.
Beat the Expert. We'll see you, of course. Go to GulfstreamPark.com. Click on the contest icon there and go on. Absolutely free, and you get a chance to win one of those cool Beat the Expert polo shirts that I was actually wearing here yesterday. What else we got?
Love giving those shirts out, those Beat the Expert shirts.
We do.
Good luck.
Yeah.
First Saturday. I mean, here it is. For 15 stakes between here and the Big Cap Day at Santa Anita. We got contests. We got pick fives, $5 million contest. Get on the website. Check it all out. It's an unrivaled day of racing. Stakes action galore. The Big Cap's going to wrap it up right around 8 o'clock, I think.
And I think, that as you mentioned a little earlier, you and Ashley put together tickets. There you go for the pick fives, the dirt and turf. That's pretty nice the way they did that.
Check out our YouTube channel or check us out on Twitter as well, because we did a couple 2-minute videos that we each talk about our picks, and I did the turf, Ashley did the dirt. And, it's just back and forth with Gulfstream and Santa Anita, and they're just great races. And look at that late double of the Fountain of Youth and the Big Cap. That's been San Felipe as well. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I can't wait for this thing to get started. And, wait, we're not done.
No, we're not done. No rest for the weary, because we want you back here tomorrow. We're going to pay out this rainbow again. You know I always bet the over, Ronnie, and we're going over $2 million. I'm going to put $3 or $4 million in there. People love it. It's a mandatory day. Make sure you're back tomorrow. And I'll tell you what, it's a beast of a sequence.
Yeah, no, I never pick how much money's going to be. I'm always wrong. I say 2, it's 4. I say 4, it's 5. So that's the way it goes. So, hey, Brian, we're done. We're going to be back throughout the afternoon trying to give you some useful insights. What a day of racing.
I can't wait. The Fountain of Youth is the feature, but there's 9 stakes in total, graded. We've got superstars from the get-go.
I remember the first time I came to Gulfstream, it was like this big fairy tale place.
We back.
Northern Dancer, winner of the Florida Derby.
Yeah.
All the history, all these great horses, trainers, jockeys.
It is Barbaro to the final furlong. He is a neck in front. Barbaro wins!
It was everything that I ever dreamed of.
Sunday silence surges to the front.
First day, opening day of championship meet, I was kind of starstruck. You're watching LeBron James, and then next thing you know, you're playing basketball against him. That's how I felt when I'm riding with Donnie V, riding with Irad, Luis.
So many famous people come, Post Malone, Pharrell, J-Lo was there. It's epic.
The weather is beautiful. The facility is phenomenal.
It's all about Knicks Go. Knicks Go makes it 4 in a row.
It's one of the most beautiful tracks in the country, surrounded by some of the greatest horses and riders. It's amazing.
I grew up in Puerto Rico. We play basketball, baseball, ride horses. My grandfather was a jockey, my uncle was a jockey too. And I asked him for a present, I asked him for a horse. My dad gave us a horse. The name of the horse was Popeye. Popeye, yeah. I love them. Beside of what I love for them, they give me everything too, so that's why I give them so much love.